Hi, this is Billy from governrent.com. This video will demonstrate some of the powerful financial tracking tools that would allow you to better understand your rental business and help you save a lot of time when taxes come due. This is a demo to help you decide if this is the right tool for you, so we'll move a little faster than normal, which means we'll skip entering some details that we normally want to have. We have more in-depth videos on YouTube, and you can always use the help button in the app to contact us. Okay, let's get started. First, we'll visit governrent.com and click on one of the buttons to sign up for a free trial. Username will show in the top right of the app, so you can just use your first name, then enter your email and a password to create the account. First time loading up the application, the demo will pop up. You can go through the next steps or just end it. First thing we're going to do is add a property. So to add property, we come up here to the top right, click on the plus, and it opens the add property dialog. We're going to say you have an apartment building called Brook Apartments. It is a multifamily and it is owned by Whetstone Properties LLC. So in a lot of these forms you can just start typing a name if it's not in the system already, and once you submit it, it will add it. So we're going to add an image. And there's more details we can enter, but for this demo, this is enough. Alright, so now we have our property. It's looking pretty empty in here since we have 0 units and it's a multifamily building. So we're going to click on the name. And we do that, it takes us to a new page. Properties, Brook Apartments. Down below are these sections that you can add. So we're going to add a unit section. We want to add a new unit. Unit B, 2 bed, 1 bath, 1,000 square foot. Not sure why I started with unit B, but there's unit A. 2, 1,000 square feet again. Right, so now we have both units in here. We want to go ahead and add a lease to unit A because we rented it out first of the year. So again, we click on the name. It takes us to a new page for Brook Apartments, unit A. So here we want to add a lease section. Click on there, add a new lease. Now we don't have any people in the system yet, but Mr. Larry Fox rented from us. So we type in his name, we select that. We agreed that the deposit and rent were each $1,000. Started January 1st for a whole year. And we click the end of the month and it automatically selects 12/31 for us. Okay, so now we have our lease in here. We can click on details and this takes us to the page for that lease. So in the header you can see we have leases, Brook Apartments, unit A, Larry Fox. So here we want to add a transaction. So click on the transaction section and then we want to add a new transaction and we're going to put a deposit. So he gave us $1,000 in a check and it came from the person, so it came from Larry and it went to our bank account. So we don't have any bank accounts in the system yet, but we have one we're going to call WP checking. Okay, so this transaction is for the lease and we're going to mark it as a security deposit. So now you can see we have $1,000 worth of deposits on this lease. Okay, and we can do the same thing again to add rent, or there is a shortcut button over here, log rent, and it just pre-fills a few things in for us. So it says February, but we're going to go back and add January's rent. So on the first, he gave us $1,000. And again, it went to our WP checking account. And this is rent. Okay. We could upload a receipt or add a check number, anything else we need to keep track of in there. All right, now that we've added that, we can see the operating in is showing $1,000 and the net is $1,000. That would be operating in minus operating out. And deposits is $1,000. So now we're going to go back up to Unit A. So we're going to go outside of this lease. And then we can add a transaction section here. And it's empty. So why it's empty is because these are transactions for the unit. We added the transactions for the lease, but it pulls those up into Unit A. So you can see we have our $1,000 in and our $1,000 deposit showing up on this bottom summary bar. So if we had 2 6-month leases, we could have all the transactions on those leases, and then when we looked at the unit, it would pull them all up into the unit. So let's demonstrate this further by adding an expense to the unit. So say we had to fix an outside light, and it cost us $125. We pulled it out of our WP checking and we gave it to a vendor. So this is a Hank's Handyman service. He came by and fixed that light on Unit A. I'll go down and mark that as a repair, and we'll submit that. So now you can see the transaction here showing up under Unit A, $125 out, the category, where it's from, who's it's going to, and it's for the unit, date. So in our top summary bar, it reflects all the transactions directly on the unit. The bottom summary bar, again, is the leases belonging to this unit and any transactions for the unit. So we have the $1,000 coming in worth of rent. We have the $125 that we went out for the light. Our profit reflects those two numbers and still holding the $1,000 deposit. So to take this even further, we can go back to the Runny Brook Apartments building, and we can add transactions here. And you can see the numbers are just the same as they were looking at the unit. That's because we only have 3 transactions in here right now. So we could go into Unit B, go to Leases, and rent out this one. We'll do the same numbers, but this one starts in February and it's only a 6-month lease. Okay, so we can go back, we can click on details to go in the lease and add a transaction section. So we're going to do the same thing we did the other one so we can just see how it looks. So this comes from a person, which is Amy. And it still goes to our same WP checking account for the lease. This is a deposit. All right, so we can see the $1,000 deposit right there. We're going to add rent real quick. For February, 1,000 check to our checking account, and this is rent. Okay, so $1,000 in, $1,000 deposit. We go up to Unit B and look at the transactions. Of course, same thing, 1,000, 1,000. We can go up to the property. And now it shows we have 5 transactions. We have $2,000 coming in, the $125 for the light that we fixed on unit A, holding $2,000 worth of deposits. So say we wanted to see what this was for. As you can see up here, there's no data. We can click on this toggle child transactions button in the header, and it will pull up all of those expenses, all those transactions, so we can see what we're working with. So you can see right here, 125 fix outside light for unit A and the date. Let's put that back. Okay, so I want to add another transaction on the property. So to show you another example. So it's February and it's cold and it snowed. So we're going to need some snow removal. And we spent $80 on this. We used cash that we got from the checking account, and we gave it to little Timmy that lives down the street. We don't know his name, that's just what we call him, so we can put it in our system like that. You can always change the name or add more details later. But right now, this is the quickest way to get the data in here so we can keep track of things. All right, so that was an expense. So this is because he removed snow from the sidewalks of both units. This is going to be for the whole building, for Runnybrook Apartments. So that's why we put it as a transaction on this page, and we select for property Runnybrook Apartments. And now we can see that the $80 is showing up in this first summary bar. So this one is whatever we're looking at up here, the apartments, $80 out. It also gets rolled into the total transactions for this property. So again, that is the property, both units, and all the leases that any transactions are tied to. So we have 2,000 coming in, 205 going out, holding 2,000 worth of deposits. So that's pretty cool, but we can still go one level higher. So this is owned by Whetstone Properties. We can click on that name. We can look at the transactions here. And it shows us that there are 6 transactions that belong to Whetstone Properties, to all of their property. Let's add the properties. So you can see if we add the property section, all of your properties that belong in this LLC will show up here, and all the transactions for those properties will get rolled up here. But you can also add expenses at the owner level. So say we have a LLC renewal fee, $50, come out of our checking account again, and it goes to the state of Wyoming. And we're going to mark that as a legal fee. All right, so we're showing the $50 that is tied directly to the owner. It's not tied to any property or any unit. It's just to the owner. So now if we want to look at the total money coming in, going out for this owner, it shows up in this bottom bar. So if we want to drill back down, we can click on the apartment building. It's right here. See, it's less now. We can click on Unit A. So we can see money going in, money going out, deposits, everything we want at any level. Another cool thing we can do is group transactions by certain actions or events that happen. So let's go back up to the apartment and say, we rented out Unit B a little bit late, so maybe we were getting this ready. It started on February 1st, so we spent January getting it ready. So what we're going to do to document that is add an actions section. And here we're going to call it Unit B turnover 2020. And actually I didn't change the date, which I want to do. I want to mark that January. Maybe we started it on the 10th. Okay, so it created an action, and we can click on the name, and again it goes to a new page. This is Unit B, the action for Unit B. We can go add a transaction section, and we can document what we did. So we did some cleaning, hopefully not $1,000 worth. Now let's so this money come out of our checking, and say for the cleaning we hired somebody, so it's Cindy's cleaning service. A little too far, cleaning. And then say we did some painting. Let's see, so from account to vendor. So maybe we decided to paint it ourselves, and we went to Home Depot and got a bunch of supplies. So this is just, we got a receipt of all the paint and paint brushes and everything we needed. Okay, so we have two transactions here for cleaning and painting, and it totals them up. And then we can go back to Unit B, and you can see the action down here, and it also pulled those in to the bottom summary bar. And again, we can see that by clicking on this button, and here's our cleaning and painting for the turnover. Now we can do the same thing with capital expenses. If we have some on the unit, we can add them to the unit. If we have them on the property, we can go up to the property. We can add a CapEx section. And we'll just add a new one here, like say new roof. And you want to make sure you mark the owner for when tax time comes. So we skipped a lot of details, so we could just hurry up and create it. We can click on the name, transactions, and this might be getting a little tedious for you now, but you can see same kind of thing we've been doing all along. We can add shingles. All right, say $600 from WP checking to Home Depot. And we're going to mark this as, you can see, asset improvement, because all of these will be depreciated that are underneath this category. Assets are summed up on their own column under assets. You can see $600 here because they're not an operating in or operating out expense. If we go back up to the apartment, you can see our capital expenditure of the new roof is showing up here, and the assets are getting pulled into our transaction summary. And you can actually see the individual transactions for that show up when we have it to include everything for the property. All right, now a few more things before we're done. We can go over to the left and click on reports. There's quite a few expense reports. If you like to see things more visually, for example, a pie chart, we only have a couple expenses in here, so it's not going to show much. You can see a table of everything summed up. breakdown is one of my favorite. You can click on select the property you want, and it's going to show you for the year, every month, in a stacked bar chart to show you the breakdown of your expenses. The property summary. Once you get, if you have quite a few properties, this is a great one because it pulls in the operating in, out, deposits, assets. Like it just shows you everything for all your properties right here. Right now we can go look at, so we entered an account, we entered some people, some leases, transactions. So I'm going to show you on the left-hand navigation how we can, another way to see those things. So we click on accounts to the left. This is a list of accounts. So there's our WP checking. You can click on the name again. You can add the transaction section, and you'll see all the transactions that went in and out of the checking account. You can add other sections here, documents for the account, keep details of the account. There's a lot more, but we'll move on. So next thing is leases. We can click on the leases page. It's going to show us the active leases. So here's Runnybrook Apartments A and B. It has quick links from each of them. You can go to the property, the unit. You can go directly to the lease page. You can go to the person. It's going to sum up your average deposit, rents, your average term of your lease. Just give you some fun information there. Your upcoming leases will be in this box, and expired and old leases will be down in this bottom one for easy lookup. Owners, our Whetstone Properties LLC is right here. You can click on the name. We've been here before. People. So all of your people will show up in here. People is anybody. It could be tenants, could be your realtor, your banker, your contractor. You can put any person you want in the system. Once you have a lot of them in there, you can more easily manage them with tags. You can add tons of tags in the system. You can tag people, put them in different groups and categories. But again, that's for another video. The property page. The property page is going to have your properties that show the owner, and they're going to be stacked in card format on the top. In the bottom one, there are properties that don't have an owner. So if you want to add a property you're looking at and add details about how much you've spent inspecting it, or photos or documents, you can create properties without actually signing an owner to them, and they show up right here. We're going to skip transactions and come right back to it. Vendors. So you see when we entered Home Depot, State of Wyoming, Hank's Handyman Service. Click on the name. It takes you to a page that was created for the vendor. So here, you can quickly add any details you want to, so you have those contact details for the vendors that you might want to contact. And if we open up the transaction section on this Home Depot, it'll show us the transactions that we had that relate to Home Depot. So you can see we had $600 for shingles for a new roof, and we had $250 for painting supplies for the Unit B turnover. Right, and if we want to see all of our transactions all together, we can click on the left, and this is just going to print them all, dump them all out. It totals up, sums them for you. It's not really useful information, but it's kind of fun to see. The best feature of having them all on this page is being able to search. So if you can use a search bar to say, oh, how much did we spend on shingles? And there it is. Or if you have a charge for $80 and you want to find out what it is, you can just quickly search for those by typing it in the search. Right, I think that pretty much sums up this video. The dashboard, as you can see now, reflects some of the data we put in there. It has a few of the leases ending soonest. We only have 2 in here right now. Your recent transactions will show up there, so you can have quick reference to those. You can visit our YouTube page to see other videos about how you can go about adding vehicles and bills, loans, do a fuel log, and all these different things the government can handle. But until then, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.